Thanks. Welcome to the Joy of Food. So first of all, what are the main, because we wanted to present it, because we start from the products, so it's good in a technology environment like that, speaks about product, but because product means processes and then systems. So it's important that our company, just to present, is a family-owned company, 85% of the stakes. It's 200 of history of brand. First Barilla, but first of all, have you seen that the company, through organic and both not organic growth, we have made a complexity. So it's important in this slide you get the complexity of selling brands, promises of Joy of Food, with a footprint that is very spread. This is where we sell and what we sell. What we sell now is not even only pasta, that is well known abroad, but is plenty of brands that are mostly bakeries and so on. First of all, one of the tasks is selling. The second task is producing and distributing. And as you can see here, the complexity is increased through the years. We have a stable production in US, we have a stable production in Russia, mostly in Europe, and you see mostly in Italy. But it's important because between producing and selling, there is planning. And so this is a challenge that through the years has moved from a very stable demand situation in the old days, the gold old days. Then we have a vertical acceleration with promotion management that increased a lot of the sensitivity of volumes. And the disruption we have made us very clear use cases for investment in planning. Because before the company was invested mostly in sales, mostly in brand, and mostly, as I say, in iron, so in plants. 98% of our products are made internally, with a saturation of plants average is 96. So you can imagine how is to balance products that are long shelf life, short shelf life in a balanced situation. So we bought the use cases through, we needed agility and we needed selectivity to serve our customers, because as you can imagine, the tailor service today is, being a B2B is very important. So that's why we made a business case that was urgent of the day, also because we come from an SAP APO suite that is becoming obsolete. And so we take the chance to understand how to invest in our process first. Use cases started, as you can see here, in the part of order promising, because as I said, selecting the orders. Then we moved quite urgently to optimize distribution, because we're seeing the source of possible savings, possible values could be extended also to not only from only customer side, but also from distribution, the level of efficiency that we can connect together forecast, orders, and distribution of our products. And at the end, if you can see, the planning horizon has started from a very short term. We have today a use case that is extending in the limit of 3-4 weeks for our tactical planning, and 12 months is for our, let me say, not longer, but within the year planning. And the stock efficiency midterm also says increased, not in the terms that we have seen in the AI agent today, but in order to understand if we have opportunity to serve more is that way. And in doing that, it was for us important to manage a process view, as we call it. Because for us, as I said, have you seen product, but for us process is the starting point to know exactly what we need and until when we need the complexity to be managed. So our use case cover a process that starts from the demand allocation. So demand planning is out because we have other projects there. And demand allocation means also meeting production planning, distribution planning, a load build in the part of production planning. And door promising is the allocation at the ending point. So at that time, we as processes work towards our business partner in IT and say, guys, we need something that we could really innovate. And we started an RFQ with Patrizia, what was still a very important phase of a project.
Thank you. So we were saying, it's all about the preparation that we did. So we understood the need, we did the business case, and then we designed a target operating model. Then, of course, it's a lot more detailed than that, but these are the pillars that we built. After that, of course, it was the time for the software selection. Of course, like everyone, we use the classic selection driver, like the functional coverage of the tool, all the aspects about architecture and security, and so on. One thing that we are really trying to balance is the level of maturity of the tool with the innovation. And because for us, we were replacing a tool that was quite mature and a lot configured, let's say, we needed something that was to replace that tool, but also to innovate. So we wanted innovation on top. Indeed, among the key points that we has used to decide really which tool to select was the innovation factor and the completeness of vision. So we look for a tool that not only at that time was fulfilling our needs, but also that had a compelling view of innovation and of growth. Then how we conducted the software selection. For us, it's been very important to get demos, of course, like everyone, but because we had a target operating model, we got demos really on the specific use case that we wanted to address. And we involved, since the beginning, the end user, the SME, the real expert about the tool, the one that were then supposed to use the tool. So once we did the software selection, okay, and we picked the tool, that of course it's online. We then continued with the preparation of the project. Of course, we started to talk about people, that is in two ways. The project organizations, how we set up to success for the project, and change management. So before starting the project, we already addressed the change management topic, looking at each area according to the target operating model, how each area will change, how the role of people will change. And so we address also this aspect, of course, with our HR colleagues. And we set up the project organization. In the project organization, of course, there are the system integrator, the O9 team that was a key for us. And we designed a program management, but for us, one of the key that is contributing to the success of these initiatives is this team that we formed that is called End-to-End Acceleration Team. This is a team mixed of business and IT experts that are really 100% dedicated to the project and are the ones that are designing the end-to-end solution for everyone. So the other users are inside the core team and they are main expert of verticals. But the acceleration team was one of really the thing that made the difference for us, because they were the one collaborating the most with the O9 team to really define the development needed on the tool or to discuss the solution and so on. After that, where we are now. So we started a project a couple of years ago. So we are already live or going live this month. We did the first pillar, that is demand allocation. Then we continue with the distribution part, and we are going now live with the order promising part and the load builder, that is how you load the trucks. For phase one, and then we will have a phase two. Then, of course, we will have the integrated planning part to complete the supply chain, let's say, short-term planning or medium-term planning solutioning. And then we did this for all, we are addressing now EMEA, and then we will roll out to the rest of the globe. So we are in the middle of the project, and we at an advanced stage. And based on that, we can go back and think about how we prepare, what we did, and how we prepare, how we contribute to the success of the initiative, and what instead, if we go back, we can rethink and do in another way. So what went well? I mean, business and IT, as you can see, we work together a lot. There are also my colleagues like business and IT in the sitting here in the room. We never had a moment in which we were finger pointed to each other or anything. We always cooperated. And this was a key with our leadership to convince them about moving forward when things were tough and so on. Doing that, we always kept in mind the business objectives. So in designing a solution, every time you have to adapt to come to some compromise, what the tool is doing, what you want to do, and so on. Keeping in mind the target operating model, the business case, and the driver. For us, this was always the check. Like, do I fulfill my objective again? Yes and no. So the team was, let's say, adapting to some compromise to speed up the execution of the process, but still reaching the business goal, of course. And then the full collaboration with the online team. We are really working very much with them, and their team is traveling to Italy sometime. We travel even to India and so on, and even we have a close relationship also with their let's say, their development team, because in some cases the feature that we are using were not already available, so we are in some cases co-developing. Attention point instead. Think that maybe going back we will do a little bit different. Right balance of resource, like I was saying in the previous slides on people, our effort was underestimated, and also the proportion between how much you need from a system integrator, how much you need from the software vendor. If your solution goes to the innovation of the tool, then maybe you need to think it through, no? Like, what's the right balance between the two? Then, of course, we are talking about advanced solution. I think you are all planning professional. You know, planning is complex. You have to allow time for long discussion. I mean, there are important discussion. We were trying to change our process, like Stefano said, and to advance and to innovate. It took long discussion. We underestimated a little bit that. And the last one from, let's say, a methodology. We started with Agile. It was good because you immediately see something, but at the end, we lost kind of the view of the end-to-end solution and how all the pieces were fitting together. So actually, we found out that let's say, a traditional business blueprint, when you have to do an end-to-end solution, is probably best, and then in realization, you can use Agile. No? So in the combination, it can be a hybrid Agile approach. And the last one is tool flexibility. I mean, of course, it's a nice feature, but on the other side, it's also an attention point, because when the tool is so flexible, there are so many things to discuss. There is no a forced way to do this, like a full template that you get. So it's more discussion. It's an help, but it's also an attention point on the effort that you take.
In effect, if you have flexibility, you have to balance flexibility with discipline and competence. Otherwise, you go really in the grass. Okay, we think we are finished, all right?
Yes.
Even before. Wow.
No, the clock started late.
Ah.
Yes. Thank you.